Welcome back to Sports Charlotte. I am your host, Ashley Mahoney. Thank you for joining us. Today we have Charlotte Independence defender, Hugh Roberts. Hugh, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, it's a beautiful day in paradise, and we appreciate you joining us. You are a regular on the podcast. You know how this works. But it hasn't quite worked like this. In a week where it is a Sunday match, a Wednesday night match, and you guys are preparing for a match on Saturday because that's the time of year it is. You've got one more match to close out August, and then you get to play 7 matches in September. That's a lot. That's a lot. How are you mentally and physically just staying with everything throughout this period?
Yeah, it can definitely be overwhelming. Definitely with a lot of games coming around. It's a quick turnaround. Sunday to Wednesday is a very quick turnaround. You kind of have to forget games and things. But, I mean, it just makes it even tougher with these off-the-field issues that are going on as well and trying to box some things in and focus on the task at hand. You might have, we had an unfortunate result down in Miami. And then on top of these things that we're seeing on social media. And so just dealing with that in the season can be a little overwhelming, but we're up for it. We feel like we still have a lot of proof, still have a lot to prove, as you saw in the game against NCFC recently. We definitely came together and fought through that. So we know there's only 8 games left, and we still have to push through some things, but it's been tough on different fronts trying to deal with these issues.
Now, diving into last night's result, well, if you're listening to this, we're recording this the day after because media is not allowed at matches just yet because we are still in the midst of a pandemic, so understandable on that front. But last night wasn't just a 3-point night for the club. It was also the first time that the club beat North Carolina FC in USL Championship, first time that the club had finally topped their noisy neighbors since 2015 in an Open Cup match. But it was also something that the entire sporting world kind of turned and looked at what was going on, particularly Sunday. He played Miami at Miami. And meanwhile, in Wisconsin, a black man, Jacob Blake, was shot 7 times in the back by police officers. And what was your reaction when you heard about that?
Yeah, I mean, of course I was sad, but I was filled with anger, to be honest with you. It's honestly just very tiring, and I couldn't even come to words form to even talk about things on social media. I've been speaking out, so I have to keep saying something. It's the same patterns over and over and over again. And I mean, we had a game on Sunday, so it kind of distracted us as well from what was really happening, because we weren't aware of that until after the game. So after the fact, late at night, coming back on Monday. And the thing is, too, we really don't even discuss things here within the club. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's even brushed aside. It's just not addressed. So it's just more so of us, black players, trying to deal with us. We talk amongst ourselves, you know, trying to comfort each other because we're all going through the same similar things. But it's not easy at all. And, it's just shocking. And it's something now that we're trying to come together on and, make a statement on amongst ourselves throughout the league.
When you look at what started with the Milwaukee Bucks and their decision not to play Game 5 against the Orlando Magic, and that rippled throughout the league with the 2 other games that were scheduled for yesterday, then you see it in the WNBA, you see it in Major League Soccer, you see it in Major League Baseball. Would you, or did you consider sitting out last night?
See, it definitely crossed my mind. It's tough out here because I live downtown in the city. I'm out here on my balcony, and I was chilling on my balcony before the game, and the Republican National Convention is going on. So what's going on here is a bunch of banners are being flying around through the city, pro MAGA, Trump stuff and stuff. And I also go on social media and see the complete opposite, where my people and everyone's infuriated and enraged with what's going on. So definitely it crossed my mind, but my thing is doing everything as a collective unified front. So I kind of, again, realized that it would have been last minute. Who knows if the president or coach at the time would be fully supportive of it? Would the other team be supportive of it? I know it would have been a lot to go into it. And so, yeah, ultimately played in the game, persevered through it. We ended up getting the victory, which I'm very thankful for. But it's tough, even moments before kickoff when we're all kneeling during the anthem and kneeling during the Black Lives Matter. You get tears in your eyes a little bit, you get upset, and of course you have to push it to the side, but some of us are able to channel that anger throughout the game and help us, persevere in certain moments. But it's not easy for every black player. I'm not speaking for every black player because some, I'm sure, can't even play right now, or yeah. So it's definitely something that we want to do more than just a T-shirt. Some clubs still haven't statements yet, or showing any kind of support. So we're still fighting these issues on and off the field constantly.
When you hear people say the tried and true cliche of stick to sports, what comes to your mind of this is so much more than a sport, or is it if people want you to stick to sports, stop shooting black people? Does it feel like that's the automatic response, or is it a little bit deeper than that?
It's much deeper than that. If they want us to stick to sports, then they should go play FIFA because those are robots and we're human beings. And it's tough as a human watching my kinfolk getting shot down. And people, I'm not a father yet, but if you're a father out there and you have a son, of course you're going to worry. Of course I'm going to worry about my father as well. And like, it's affecting our lives. If it was some social media thing or something that was like a robotic thing, then all right, then no emotion should be attached. But no, this is our daily lives, and it's way deeper than a game. We're just using our platforms because we grew up in the same environment. We all know friends and family who, are less fortunate than we are to even be here in this position. So it's us speaking out literally for our family. And we don't want the same things to happen to the next generation of families and kids. And this has to stop. So definitely it's deeper than a game, and things need to change. And I'm glad this movement's happening. I'm very glad this movement's happening.
Now, 3 months ago, when George Floyd, who happens to be a relative of yours, was killed in Minnesota, it seemed like there was a glimmer of possibility that things were finally going to take a step forward, or think that there's a possibility for change. 3 months later, here we are in a very similar situation once again. And once again, the rallying cry, the battle cry for change is here. People are taking to social media. But how do you see those people who 1 second are all about it on social media? How do you get them from posting not just black squares or hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag BLM? How do you get them to a place of understanding and understanding that this is not a trend, this is people's lives?
Yeah, and that's just the constant tough battle. It's why I've been kind of even just taking a step back even recently from just sharing things or even speaking up, because this is literally clearly in front of your face, and you see the total opposite where a white teenager has an AK walking through killing people and going, walking past the cops cleanly. That's probably the only thing I really shared, just to show blatantly the hypocrisy that's going on in this country. And I can only do so much but educate you, and hopefully, you're willing to have a conversation with me and your kinfolk. And that's, as I preached 3 months ago, as I've been preaching, that is the biggest, most important step, having a conversation with us. Just talk to us. We're human beings as well, and you'll get to know and realize that there's a lot of similarities there, and there's just a big wall, and a lot of people are afraid to get out that comfort zone in their bubbles to just have this conversation. So it's tough, and it's a draining fight, and I can't imagine what my ancestors went through if I'm feeling this way right now. So I mean, it's definitely a fight that's for the long run. I'm never going to stop advocating for my people, but it's definitely something that I tell people still to just have conversations and keep talking and keep. Of course, sharing is nice. Sharing is going to be great, but I need you to now understand why we're going through this. You have to understand now, because 3 months later, this is going on still. Pray to God there's not another instance soon, but it's a high percentage that another instance might occur. So we need you to, stop saying, "Oh, this is terrible. Oh, this is another black people are at it again," kind of thing, and wake up and just help us out.
Now, you've been doing the work over the last several months. You were doing the work long before that, but particularly yourself and your teammate, Brandon Miller, who are podcast regulars, and we appreciate you both for joining us in the work that you were doing. But you created a foundation where you support local organizations that work on equity and disparities that particularly impact communities of color within the city of Charlotte, for instance, Black Love, Creative Player Foundation, so forth. And the work that you've done with them, what has that experience, has it confirmed things that you'd already known, or has it been an eye-opening experience about what these people go through on a daily basis, particularly something that Brendan touched on earlier is his collaboration with Heal Charlotte. And the reason he decided to play last night was he was able to donate $30 from himself as well as from his brand Prime Focus Goalkeeping to Heal Charlotte, who has a $10 million fundraising initiative to address housing insecurity within the city of Charlotte. And that's something that's particularly heightened with the pandemic. You see tent cities that are popping up all over Mecklenburg County, particularly the north side of Uptown. But that's something that unless you are aware of it and you take the time and the energy to learn about what people are experiencing, it's very easy to just continue to drive down Tryon and say, oh, I'm just driving to my destination. Oh, there are tents. I don't know what else is going on and so forth. And just be in your own bubble, if you will.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's exactly why I even played myself. It's deeper than us. It's deeper. We're representing not only our family, we're representing our people. And Brandon's donating every game, and I'm donating every game as well. So it's an opportunity for another, kid or family to get fed, and another opportunity for, maybe they can get into an apartment for housing. So that's why we do it, because it's deeper than us. But yeah, like you said, it's been a tremendous experience. Yes, it's confirmed some things like with Creative Player, how the struggle has been still with urban cities, with the pay-to-play soccer system. I've been preaching on my podcast for a while now. The pay-to-play system has been hurting soccer for generations, and that needs to change. And that's what Creative Players is focusing on, and it's definitely helping the minorities here in Charlotte. But an organization like Black Love has changed my whole life and changed my perspective on, not only this city, but just all cities in general. It's funny because I live here in the city, and I've been going jogging throughout the city since I lived here last year. Lo and behold, I've been running past Black Love's headquarters when they set up camps this whole time, constantly running past, homeless people that I'm becoming cool with now. And since I've been going there regularly and starting to see my face some, and I've been seeing them in the city for some time now. And I didn't realize it was this close. Sometimes you don't realize how close things can be to you. And so for me to just be out there and realize that people are in constant need of breakfast every day, 3 meals a day. It's very rare that people are getting fed 3 meals a day, and that's a blessing to even, have food on the table and a roof over your head. So it's an eye opener just to see sometimes like Black Love. When I went there, my most recent time had a little giveaway going on, and people are so excited for just a little tent or a little cooler or a little speaker or something, able to get a raffle win. Like those little things go such a long way, and we might take those for granted sometimes. And so it just motivates me even more to, keep playing, keep doing what I'm doing with my foundation, my t-shirts, and just everything.
You mentioned the importance of making sure that people know your face, that this is not just you writing a check and saying, here's some money, we're helping, great, grand, wonderful, but the importance of saying, no, I'm here, I'm in the community, and I'm going to do everything in my power to help you. How is that journey going for you?
Yeah, that's the most important thing. A lot of people sometimes just donate and disappear on them, and it's not just for me and my sake, where you might feel good about these things, but they also get some sense of hope seeing you giving back and seeing your face there regularly, smiling happily. Even the workers there as well are just happy to see you, and you put a smile on somebody's faces, and that can go so much further than a meal itself. That can maybe help them persevere one more day in their day when they might be feeling down, and those little things go such a long way, where even maybe, we can't do fans at the games now, but if it was, I would have been brought people to the games for free. And that's something that I'm definitely gonna, if I'm here in the city and wherever I go, I want to bring as many people to the games as possible, because we have that power to do that. And that's what I want to do. So, those little things go such a long way, and It's deeper than a game. It's deeper than a lot of issues that we're facing, and everyone needs just love in general.
Now, how can people get involved with your foundation and the work that you're doing if they want to reach out and support, whether that's financially or otherwise? What's the best way for them to get in contact with you and to purchase the shirts that you collaborated on with the Queen's English Soccer Show?
Yeah, so follow me on all social media accounts, Superhuman, and my foundation, and my podcast at Backyard Footy. Just hit the links in my bio, and then you'll see the T-shirt link, and you'll see the GoFundMe link where you can just donate straight. But not only that, just follow along with the season. Follow along with me and my donations. Match me. I'm donating $10 every match, $10 for a shutout, and $15 for a goal for myself. So just follow along, and not just that, but as I said earlier, the biggest thing is just keep educating yourself. Of course, donating is going to be great, but I don't want it to be where you donate and just feel good and disappear. Like, this is, as we're seeing, it's still constantly going on, and these issues aren't stopping. So please just keep, if you want to talk to me, hit me up, DM me, ask me questions, and I'll be glad to help and respond at some point when I can. But just keep having conversations. It only enlightens you, and only sheds a light, and educate yourself some more that you can reach on to your next folk.
As always, we appreciate you, the work that you're doing, the advocate that you are in the community. And like you said, I'm just going to echo this a little bit. Don't just donate and disappear. Donate, do the work. It's worth it. And in the meantime, in between time, we're going to make sure that we continue to bug you for the rest of the season, because you got one more match left in August. You got 7 for September, and September, it's one of those months where it's just a little bit shorter. So it's going to be really busy. It's going to be a tight turnaround, and we're going to be here covering all of it. In the meantime, the on the pitch side, the off the pitch side, there's going to be a lot of coffee involved because, well, why not? And as always, make sure that you check out our newsletter every Tuesday morning, Queen City Football Chronicle, or more affectionately known as QCFC. You can head over to thecharlottepost.com, go to the sports tab, and all your soccer-specific content is there. You might even find another episode with our guest today, Hugh Roberts, as well as a few other familiar faces and maybe some first-time guests. You never know. It's a party. Let's have some fun. So as always, Hugh, appreciate you, appreciate the work you're doing, and we'll have to do this again soon.
Awesome. Yep, anytime. Have a great one.
Absolutely. Until next time, this is Sports Charlotte. I'm your host, Ashley Mahoney. Thank you for listening.